I've gotten questions about the best way to prepare new garden space. I know that growing a garden is on a lot of people's minds right now during this time of history, and I love that and want to encourage you in that. And I wanted to show you one of my very favorite ways to start new garden space in the ground. My other favorite way to start new garden space is raised garden beds, but separate video about that topic. This is about creating new garden space in the ground, and I'm going to show you how we do that. I have this little tiny space. I'm going to show you on a small scale, but we do the same thing for huge garden space. Our big garden way out behind our barn, the far garden, we did the same method out there, and it is called the no-till method. There are a number of ways you can do no-till method, but this is how we do it. And the benefits of no-till, the idea behind it is that there are lots of good things going on down there in the soil, organisms doing their thing, having a healthy environment there for growing things, and that when we till that up, we mess with all that and mess it up. And so we want to leave all of that intact, and it will benefit whatever we're trying to grow. But the problem is, obviously there's stuff growing there already that we don't want. We want to plant our vegetables and other things there. We don't want the grass and the weeds. So again, there are a number of ways you can do this, but what we like to do is to lay a layer of cardboard right on top of whatever it is that's growing there. Now in this space, I kind of came through and pulled out some of the big weeds and the big clumps of grass, and if you're doing a large area, you would want to go ahead and mow or weed eat or whatever. You want to trim it down so that it's pretty short, and then lay your cardboard on top. About cardboard, so we save every piece of cardboard that comes onto our property. We live somewhat rurally, and especially right now, more people are probably doing much more online shopping than we've ever done before. So anyway, however you can get your hands on cardboard. Sometimes you don't have time to, like, you want to prepare a garden space and you don't have time to just wait for all of that cardboard to accumulate. So, you know, you can check with friends, you can put the word out, or you can check with grocery stores, at anywhere that receives, you know, deliveries with lots of boxes. We've gotten boxes from all sorts of businesses and friends, and obviously recycled our own. There are multiple things that I love about this. I love that it's like a closed circle. That cardboard is not leaving our property. We are recycling it in the best way possible. We're composting it basically into the soil. So there's no energy required for recycling. You know, you could say, well, we recycle our cardboard and that's cool, but it requires energy to do that, right? And like transportation energy. If you're somehow watching this video and you aren't creating garden space and you're regularly recycling cardboard, check with a friend who gardens or a local farm and see if they could use your cardboard, because chances are somebody would love to put that to good use. So somehow you're gonna get your hands on cardboard, and then you lay that out in a layer on top, you know, in the space where you want to grow. And then on top of that, you're going to put about 4 inches of really good garden soil or dirt compost, whether it's your own compost or, depending on the space that you're creating, you're probably going to need to bring in compost from somewhere else. But you want to find some kind of good compost. If you have access to aged manure like horse manure or cow manure, that's a really great material to add on top of your cardboard. Really great for growing stuff. And whatever you use, you know, just make it about 4 inches deep. And then if you are direct seeding, if you're putting seeds into your dirt, you want to do that at that point. Wait for the seedlings to get big enough, and then you're going to mulch around them. But if you plan to plant seedlings or little transplants in the space, then you can go ahead and mulch right on top of that layer of soil or compost. Go ahead and add your mulch. If you've heard of Back to Eden, the Back to Eden method is all about wood chips. We have access to free wood chips, and so we like to use that for our mulch most of the time. When you use wood chips, over time those wood chips are going to decompose and enrich the soil. They're going to compost. So we use mostly wood chips wood chips aren't the best for carrots. I have a blog post all about that. I'll link it here for you. If you plan to direct seed something like carrots, you want to keep that space free from wood chips. But a lot of things do well with a wood chip mulch, but you can use other mulches like hay, straw, leaves, grass clippings. Any good organic stuff like that is going to, over time, continue to build your soil, and in the meantime, it's going to act as a barrier for weeds. If you do use hay or straw or something like that, just make sure that it's weed free. Find a clean source so that you're not adding a bunch of weed seeds to your garden area. Okay, so cardboard, then about 4 inches of soil, and then your mulch. And then when it's planting time, you're going to plant your little plants through the mulch. It's actually easier than tilling or digging up a new garden space. Easier on your back, and it's better for the soil, better for whatever it is that you plan to grow. And here's the dirt on top of the cardboard. Because I direct seeded lupine seeds actually in this little spot, I did not cover it with mulch. So I'll wait for the lupines to emerge and get tall enough, strong enough to spread mulch around on top of the dirt. And the mulch will cover up those little cardboard flaps at the back there. They will not be visible. And now it is weeks later, and my little baby lupines are getting bigger, and they are almost big enough for me to add mulch. Most of them are big enough, but there are a few that are still pretty tiny, like this one, that I don't want to accidentally cover with mulch. So I'll wait just a little bit longer, and as soon as all of them are big enough, then I'll add mulch, and again that mulch will cover up those little pieces of cardboard that are sticking out, and then that will be the final step